Da ragazzi ci trovavamo tutti i giorni nello stesso posto, senza il bisogno di darci appuntamento. Siamo cresciuti insieme, proteggendoci dal mondo e alimentando le nostre speranze. Riuscivamo sempre a sorridere. La vita ci ha poi divisi. Siamo andati lontano, in quel mondo col quale avevamo imparato a parlare. Abbiamo continuato a portare dentro di noi la voce gentile della nostra terra, ogni volta che ci sentivamo distanti da quelle giornate trascorse insieme. Poi alla fine siamo tornati tutti qui, nello stesso posto, senza darci appuntamento, per raccontarci le distanze e ricordarci quei giorni che ci avevano uniti nel tempo. Ci ritroviamo abbracciati a questa terra che accoglie tutti. Abbiamo imparato ad aiutarci e a non smettere di stupirci. Ora che ci penso, non abbiamo mai smesso di sorridere.
And here we are. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to see you all here to join this culinary masterclass today. And I'm very happy you are all connected. I can follow you here. You know, we are on Zoom, so I'm very happy to be here with you today. My name is Fabio Massimo Bonini. I will be the host. I will take you during this travel today. As you all know, this initiative is organized with the PromoTurismo Friuli Venezia Giulia, whose mission is to develop the regional tourism system of Friuli Venezia Giulia through promotional activities. Today, we are inside this amazing restaurant, Salumeria 104 in Coral Gables, Miami. And before we start, I would like to give you some advice regarding the event. I invite you to click the bottom speaker view on your top right of your screen. So you will have a big screen focus on who's speaking at the moment. And remember that this event will last 70 minutes, is an hour and 10 minutes. And the last 10 minutes will be dedicated to your questions and to the people who will be here today, to me, to the chef, to the other speakers today. I kindly ask you to keep on mute your microphone, since we are in Zoom meeting and we can see each other, so you can keep your cameras on, but not the phone, the microphone, unless we will call you. I invite you to cook and taste the products that you received, and you will be able to cook with us while the chef here at Salumeria 104 is preparing the two recipes of today's masterclass. So let's start by knowing more about this Italian region. Friuli Venezia Giulia is Italy's northeasternmost region and contains very different landscapes. It's surrounded by beautiful mountains, the Eastern Dolomites. It borders Austria, Slovenia, and faces the Adriatic Sea. The territory is also very diverse with its lagunas, rocky passages, and sandy beaches. Friuli also is an amazing destination, presenting also diverse climatic conditions that make unique its food and wine products. I invite you, of course, to stay connected until the end. As we will explain you how you will be able to win a ticket for one person from Miami to Italy, courtesy of Air Europa, and enjoy also a special package of 2 nights for 2 people in an extraordinary hotel with a gourmet dinner. Before discovering the products you have received in your boxes and learn about Friuli Venezia Giulia, I would like to leave the online stage to the president of Italy American Chamber of Commerce Southeast, Tommaso Cardano. Please, Tommaso, come in with your brief message.
Thank you, Massimo. You're a great host as always, and welcome everybody to this event. Thank you for joining this masterclass today and to show your support to the chambers and to Italy. This is one of the initiatives that the chambers promote to always promote the typical Italian products. First of all, I would like to thank PromoTurismo Friuli Venezia Giulia for being our partner in this initiative. And also I would like to thank Air Europa for offering the flying ticket that Massimo just mentioned from Miami to Italy and allow to discover the Friuli Venezia Giulia. Also, many thanks to ENID, the Italian National Tourist Board, that has become an important partner for the Chamber for a lot of our projects, involving both representatives for the food and wine world linked to the tourism, and also involving some of the American tour operators for today's masterclass. Furthermore, a special thanks goes, of course, to Graspa Group and its owner, Graziano Sbroggio, who welcomed us in his beautiful restaurant, Salumeria 104 in Coral Gables. Thank you. So, like Massimo said, Friuli is certainly a land famous in the US market for several products like prosciutto San Daniele or Montasio cheese. But there are many other excellent Italian products that need to be discovered by the American consumer in this region. So these type of initiatives are very important to be connected with the key people in this market and create awareness about this authentic product of this beautiful region of Italy. So without further ado, I let you enjoy this masterclass. I hope you have fun and stay with us in the next hour. Thank you and enjoy.
Thank you, Tommaso. Grazie. Tommaso, here we are back on our stage. You all received food boxes containing some of the most popular PDO and PGI products from this region that we will use today for your recipes. So let's see together what is inside your boxes. Let's start with the Montasio cheese. Is a PDO product. Montasio cheese takes its name from the famous Montasio Plateau. Is a semi-hard cooked cheese produced exclusively with cow's milk from the designated area. It is naturally lactose-free, therefore it suits for those who are intolerant to this milk sugar. And when it's fresh, it has a very delicate flavor. And as the seasoning increases, the flavor becomes more aromatic. Montasio is the main ingredient of one of the most characteristic dishes of Friulian cuisine that we are going to prepare today, which is the frico. Then you found this is something very, very special, known everywhere in the world. I'm talking about prosciutto San Daniele. Is a ham produced in San Daniele, which is a place in Friuli, and this prosciutto is really known everywhere in the world. It's an Italian dry cured ham, darker in color and sweeter in flavor. Is a completely natural product and is made only with Italian pork, sea salt, and San Daniele air. Free from additives and preservatives. It is nutritious, easy digestible. It contains only a few fats, and all of them are good. Which makes it ideal for every diet and every age. In your food box, you have also received a type of pasta called tagliolini. This is a very typical pasta, and that will be the main ingredient of the second recipe that you will try to make today with our chef. Your second box contains wines. So the wines that will be paired to today's recipes. The first one is Schioppetto wine. Schioppetto wine is a traditional characteristic wine with a strong personality, produced exclusively with Friulano grapes, harvested manually at the beginning of September. This wine is characterized by a yellow color tending to a lemon with greenish reflections. The nose is delicate and pleasant, opens with hints of almonds, enriched with aromas of flowers and pear. And in the mouth is dry, delicately aromatic, and gives an elegant finish of bitter almond. Then we have the red wine, Refosco wine, that will go with the tagliolini. Refosco is a local variety of red grape, rich in color, acidity, fruit, and structure. This wine has been defined by many critics of the sector as the best native red of Friuli, and bold and structured with red fruits and a robust aftertaste that makes it really unique. The grapes are grown in the geographical area of Cividale on the eastern hills of Friuli. The aftertaste surprises with the note of tobacco. Now that we know a little better the fantastic products that we are going to use today, we can go into the heart of the restaurant, the kitchen. Follow me. Okay, I'm glad to introduce you. Roberto Patriarca is the chef here at Salumeria 104. Roberto, nice to see you here.
How you doing, guys? Nice to see you.
So are you ready to prepare this frisco? Is the first dish. Frisco, we have to say, is as I said something before, is a dish of the Friulian peasant tradition. It's made of potatoes, a lot of cheese. Originally, frisco was prepared in the impoverished region as a way of recycling cheese rings, and frico can be served as a single dish or can become also a base for finger foods.
Exactly, as it can be a main course.
What are the ingredients that you're going to use to make this frico?
Well, basically, for the frico, we're going to use some Montasio cheese, and we're also going to use potatoes. We use the same amount of cheese as we do as potatoes. We're going to mix it and put it in. This is the secret. The secret for to make frico is a non-stick pan. We use a non-stick pan, and I'll show you how we do it.
Okay, so while the chef Patriarca is preparing frico, I would like to remind you all that you are invited to take pictures of your own dish from your kitchen. So you will be able to show us your experience of this masterclass, because we will award the persons that got more likes on social medias about this masterclass experience to win, of course, the air ticket to Italy. Please don't forget to use the hashtag FVG Taste, or FVG Life, or Air Europa, and tag, of course, at IACSI. So is the Italy-American Chamber of Commerce Southeast. In any case, you will receive an email tomorrow about details on how to participate for winning this trip to Italy. Don't forget to take pictures of your dish. And now I leave Chef Roberto getting the dish ready, and I will go to meet Graziano Sbrogio. Graziano Sbrogio. Graziano, hi. We are in the main room again, and Graziano Sbrogio is the owner and co-founder of Graspa Group, a restaurant group with many restaurants and 250 employees, and one of the first, we could say, one of the first Italian restaurateur in Miami. Graziano, you opened, we talk about Salumeria, you opened the first Salumeria in Midtown a few years ago. Correct. After a while, you opened the second one in Coral Gables, where we are now. And tell me about the feedback from the American customer when they come and they try this Northeastern Osteria style restaurant.
Sure. First, thank you, Fabio, and thank you, the American Chamber of Commerce and the Friuli Venezia Giulia, to give us this opportunity and to select Salumeria 104 to do this seminar today. So we opened 9 years ago the first restaurant in Midtown, and a couple of years ago here in Coral Gables. As you can see, I'm in the United States for 31 years. I grew up in my father's trattoria, so I can say second generation restaurateur. And I didn't want to do this location with this concept. I didn't want to do a white tabletop restaurant. I just want to do a rustic trattoria with the chairs, coincidentally, they're for Friuli Venezia Giulia. The table, there's old recycled table from my own region, Veneto, Treviso. But the two main ingredients, I want to get excellent food and excellent service. Top quality food, including from day one prosciutto San Daniele, of course. And go back to your question, the people, our American clientele, immediately they recognize it and they love it. They love it because they're going to eat a dish, simple, authentic, and very good in a very casual setting.
Recently, you started a new activity. Beside restoration, you decided to start with importing and distributing products. So what is that for you, a real Italian product has to have to be successful in the United States?
I will try to answer that question, although as a consumer, I become an importer, and I'm a baby importer, just started. And it's not our prime business. We started almost during the pandemic, actually, that we were closed with restaurants slowing down. I'm very active. I say, what can we do? And seeing the trend that there was a lot of requests to selling good food online, and there was not a lot. A suggestion I can give with my little experience of importing food, but quite a little bit of experience as a consumer, the Italian company that want to come to the United States, they have to be prepared and ready. This market is very difficult. It's very competitive. You compete with a lot of Italian sounding product, and when our importer, we decide not to be scared of them. We decide just to import very high quality product. It may take a long time. A company to be ready with marketing, the packaging is to be correct, the communication has to be clear, and usually the right partnership to come into this market. This market is a monster because it is, imagine, 330 million people that live in the United States. If we can only give a small percentage of Italian product, the manufacturing in Italy will be in crisis for what they have to produce. But does it take a long time to get that? So consistency, marketing, product, and good product.
Also, today I want to add something that probably is, as a consumer, people travels a lot. So people from the United States come to Italy, they taste the products, they come back, you cannot fool them anymore. Before, yes, probably the experiences were a little different. Today is even harder, but in a way a lot better.
You're absolutely right. The world became smaller, especially with today, I mean, with the social media, help us a lot, worldwide generally, that we can easily show the real product versus the Italian sound. Now, the next step, will take a long time to say the count victory. We keep together house Italian, we have to fight it and present just the original product and not get sucked by the want to do business more and manipulate the product. Just real quality, and the people, American in this case, will understand.
Thank you, Graziano Brogio, president of Graspa Group. I go back in the kitchen and see how is the frico going. Huh? Follow me. Chef Roberto.
Okay, here we are. So now,
how is everything here?
Everything is just fine. So basically what we do, we get one side crispy, and then we just flip it over and we do the same thing. Now we can do it, if you don't feel comfortable doing it like this, you could just use
that is really amazing.
And then we'll just make it crispy on the other side. Just like that. And we have Chef Enrique that is preparing the garnish for the dish. So once we have a crispy on both sides.
So to get to that point, Roberto, what you have done, you just mix together the cheese.
It's the same amount of cheese as you do of the potato, a little bit of salt and pepper, and a non-stick pan.
That's important, because I understand now why you said that before. That's the real secret, because the recipe looking like this is pretty easy.
It's very, very easy. This is very, very easy, sir.
Okay, we are almost ready. Now the finishing. Please don't forget home to take pictures of your dish. We want to see that afterwards, okay? So take pictures and show us what you are doing.
It's your frico friulano.
Okay, now is the time of the second recipe, tagliolini. I want to say a couple of words. Tagliolini is a type of traditional ribbon dough pasta typical of northern Italy region. Specifically, tagliolini San Daniele are a classic regional dish that uses the famous prosciutto San Daniele that we saw before, that you received at home, and that you can find in a typical Friulian Osteria. It's a quick cooking pasta, especially if it's fresh, and goes well with light sauces, with the fish, delicate or white sauces. So, chef, let's talk about the ingredients and explain a little bit the recipe.
For the ingredients, we have obviously the prosciutto San Daniele, okay?
Follow at home. Follow us.
Follow us at home. What we're gonna do, we're gonna chop it up.
Okay.
Just like this.
Yeah, but then I let you do it because I have a couple of guests that I have to go to. So
Okay.
you get ready the prosciutto.
I
and
get
the
it ready. So
ingredients. What are
basically, the other ingredients, what we have the fresh tagliolini over here.
Okay.
We have poppy seeds.
Okay.
We have a little heavy cream, salt and pepper, and that's about it.
Okay. Let's see something.
Okay.
So let's start.
So let's start with this.
Because the camera is gonna be on you while you're making it.
I'm gonna make this prosciutto San Daniele very crispy.
Okay. And what is the real secret here? Here, the recipe is a little more
Okay,
complicated.
here, well, not really complicated. What we're gonna do is make it very crispy, so it releases all its fat, obviously all the juices. Then we add the heavy cream. A little salt. Now we add the tagliolini.
Okay, now I'll let you finish that because I have another couple of guests.
Okay.
So while Chef Roberto is making tagliolini there, let's talk about the wine. You all received Schioppetto, Friulano, and Bastianic Refosco wines, and now is the time to open, to taste them. Directly from Italy, we have here today a very interesting guest. He's a sommelier, Matteo Bellotto, from Friuli Colli Orientali and Ramandolo Tasting Academy. Let's see if Matteo is connected. Matteo, are you here?
Yes, I am. Good evening to everybody, or whatever, because it's evening here, or whatever it is. I was meant to be in the Tasting Academy now, but right now the Tasting Academy is busy because people are in tasting in this moment. So I have to man through in my house in this moment. I'm very glad to be here, and I want to thank you, PromoTurismo FVG, to be together and working together and tell our land. You have a very beautiful dishes right now, and we have the moment to speak about wines. Wines for us is much more than a drink, is much more than something that you can have in different times in a day. But you have to know that we live in the northeastern part, as we have told before, of this nation, which is Italy. And we speak 5 languages. The first language is Italian, of course. The second language is Friulano, of course. The third language is Slovenian, because we're close to the border of Slovenia. The fourth language is German, because we're close to the Austria. But the fifth language is silence. Silence is the language of the wine. And the wine can tell much more than we can say. In every place that you go, and wherever you go, you can have people having accents, right? So when people talk to you, people used to have accents. And I like accents because you can understand where people come from. If you think about wines, wines are accents, because wines can tell the land where they are planted. If we drink today these wines, that you can have the Friulano from Schioppetto and Collio, and you can have the Refosco, the two sides of our heart, the red side and the white side of our heart. You can feel the accent. You can't drink wine just like that in any place, because these wines got a language, a deep language that is meant to be a language spoken in 2000 years of viticulture. Friulano is actually our wine, our white wine, as as a soul wine. I mean, our region is 85% white wines and 15% red wines. Even if with the climate change, this thing is changing. And I can tell you, and I'm telling today, Refosco is going to be the next big thing, because Refosco is the wine that is much more changing due to the climate changes. It is increasing in quality and in the beautifulness in having his expressions because of the season in changing. I think that the pairing that you can have with the dishes that the chef prepared are exactly the match that you can find to have the scent, to have the sound, and to have the feel of what we can say about Friuli Venezia Giulia. We're not people that can talk so much. We used to talk with our work. We used to talk with our, things that we do instead of saying something. And I think that the wines are really the place where our soul can be released. Usually in Friuli Venezia Giulia, we have a kind of a problem because we don't have the Barolo, we don't have the Brunello, we don't have, the big thing. Because you have to think about this region just like an orchestra. And the orchestra needs all the instruments in order to be, to have a symphony to be played. Well, we have all these instruments made by the history. There's a lot of different kind of wines, a lot of white wines and red wines that, are an orchestra. In this orchestra, it's a kind of difficult to find, something easy to understand. But I mean, nature is not easy, and wine is not easy. And this is the easiest thing to know, but it's the most beautiful thing to understand, because in this unbelievable mess, we found the beauty. And the beauty is in this complexity that you can find in this Friulano, where the flavors it's just like a dance. It's a dance between pyrazines and teolic sensations. It's a mess between something that is very herbal and something that's very fruits. And in the Friulano and in the Refosco, something is exploding. And then you got the acidity that permits you to have, this long-lasting sensation of the flavors. And then when you have the tagliolini, for example, with the tannic expression of Refosco, you can have all the juices just melted together that stays in your mouth and permits you to have this sensation that goes on, and on. So there is nothing easy in Friuli Venezia Giulia, but the easiest thing is to come here and have a taste and have a kind of bite of this sensation, because we can have a talk, we can have a taste, but it's nothing like being here. We used to say that you come first as a guest and then you come back as a friend in Friuli Venezia Giulia. Right now, we can tell you that this call is to be a guest. Right now, you know that you can come in Friuli Venezia Giulia and you're having some friends. That is me, that is Lara, and it's all the people that can guest you in Friuli Venezia Giulia. We have a lot of things to say, we have a lot of things to taste, and then I can, make the evening go on with the other things to say. I don't know.
Matteo, sentirti è come sentire un poeta, non so spiegare, è stato bellissimo. It's been a great emotion listening to your explanation. You're like a poet.
I am.
Such a pleasure having you here, Matteo Bellotto from Friuli Colli Orientali and Ramandolo Tasting Academy. Thank you, Matteo. Thank you for being with us. Okay, now I want to go back to the kitchen before we meet another guest. But before I go, I want to invite you, because you disappeared. What happened? Turn on the cameras. We want to see you. We want to see your kitchens. We want to see your dishes. We want to see your pans. Please turn on the cameras, not the audio though, not the mic. unless you want to say something and you put it in the chat. And get ready to pose your questions so we can give you answers. That's the scope at the end of the master class. Now I go into the kitchen, see Chef Roberto, how he's doing with the tagliolini. Follow me, follow me. Roberto, here I am again.
Okay, so now that we got the frico, we're going out.
I want to know, now explain us again, because I left you, you were cutting the prosciutto and then you were heating it up in the pan. So after that, what you did?
Okay, so we basically cooked the tagliolini in heavy cream. And then if you see that it's dry, you just add a little bit of water. Once you add a little bit of water and you get this consistency here, they're pretty much done. Now, Chef Enrique over here is just preparing the poppy seeds. They get toasted for a second. Okay. That is one of the tricks that secrets that we have.
Curious. Look at that, look at that.
Then we're just going to garnish it with a little slice of prosciutto San Daniele on top.
That is amazing. That dish.
And this is the
so delicious.
Final product of the tagliolini San Daniele.
Now get ready, because we want to see your pictures. We want to see what you have done at home. Don't forget to publish on the social media. So we made frico and tagliolini San Daniele. I go back to the main room to meet the next guest. And I really hope you enjoyed the wines. They told me I cannot drink today because could be too dangerous for me, because I could get drunk because they are so good. So I'm forcing myself not to open a bottle and drink it. But thanks again, Matteo. But we have another person, very important. I mentioned before, this initiative was possible thanks to the Friuli Venezia Giulia region. And today we have one representative. We have Mrs. Lara Persello from PromoTurismo Friuli Venezia Giulia, who has chosen to connect from Casa della Contadinanza. It's a typical Italian osteria style restaurant in the city of Udine. She will talk about the beauties of this incredible region. A typical Friulian Osteria is not just a place where you can meet friends or you can go to eat. You can do all these things to meet friends. You can go for dinner, but also for an happy hour with the chance to trying finger food, small dishes, and of course, the always present good glass of wine. She will talk to us about the beauties of this incredible region. So I have Lara here. Lara, are you connected?
Yes, I am. Good afternoon. Buon pomeriggio da Udine.
Buon pomeriggio. The mic is all yours and the camera too.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here today, with you. And please allow me to say just something to Chef Roberto. I am very strict when it comes to tagliolini e San Daniele, since I was born and raised in San Daniele del Friuli. It is my hometown. And when it comes to somebody cooking them, I really look for quality and excellence. And he did such a great job. I was wondering where he got his master's degree in Friulian cuisine. Apart from that, I'm connected today from Casa della Contadinanza, an amazing location, an amazing restaurant here in Udine. Udine is one of the 4 main cities of the region Friuli Venezia Giulia. Friuli Venezia Giulia is a region that has so much to discover. Within 8,000 square kilometers, which should be approximately 3,100 square miles, you can find so many different landscapes. The famous Italian writer Ippolito Nievo stated that Friuli Venezia Giulia is a small compendium of a universe, which is true, because from the Alps to the Dolomites and the Adriatic Sea, Friuli Venezia Giulia is framed by these natural beauties. And it's just at the heart of Europe, so right in the center of the new Europe, so bordering with Slovenia on the eastern side, Austria up north, and Veneto, which is the first Italian region next to us. It takes you just 2 hours to cross the region, traveling from north to south. So for instance, you could be sunbathing, for example, in the morning along our Adriatic coast and then hiking in the Alps in the afternoon. You could also decide to do a grand tour of Central Europe and decide to have maybe breakfast in Italy, lunch in Austria, and then dinner in Slovenia, everything in one day. For those who love nature, the region really has a lot. We have the Dolomites, which are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We have the Alps. We have the amazing hills of the center of the region, the flatlands, and the coastal line. The coastal line is about 130 kilometers of sandy beaches when it comes to Lignano Sabbiadoro, which was named by the famous writer Ernest Hemingway, the Italy's Florida, because of the sand and because of the way it develops. And then we have the cliffs of Trieste, for example. Trieste is one of our main cities, actually the biggest one, and is probably the first actual metropolis of northeastern of Italy, because it used to be the Habsburgic port, so it's called the Little Vienna by the sea, and you can tell it from its architecture. Trieste is extremely famous for its regatta, worldwide known regatta, which is called Barcolana, which has become 2 years ago, which has been 2 years ago inserted in the Guinness World Records book, because it is considered as the biggest sailing regatta in the world. That year, more than 2,000 sailing boats raced against each other. Udine is another very nice city in the center of the region, and it is really famous for its architecture, its culture, but most of all for the osterias, like the one I'm here at today. For us, it's a tradition to join each other after a day of hard work and have a glass of wine, a Friulano glass of wine, or maybe some sparkling or some red wine, but native grape varieties, all together with our friends before going for dinner. Talking about the other two main cities, Pordenone is the one closest to the border with the Veneto region, and Gorizia is the one closer to the Slovenian border. Both of them are really rich in art, history, and tradition. When it comes to art and culture, we cannot forget to mention Aquileia, for example. Aquileia is one of our UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and it is a city that comes from the Roman Empire, and you can tell by its amazing basilica, which is a Roman basilica. It used to be a Roman harbor, a Roman port. Then we have Cividale del Friuli, another UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is famous because of the Longobards and the Longobards Museum. Other two UNESCO World Heritage Sites are Palmanova, the star-shaped fortress city, and Palù di Livenza, which is a pile-dwelling prehistorical site. And then we can say something maybe about those who love skiing. There are 7 ski resorts in the region, both on the Alps and on the Dolomites, that provide hundreds and hundreds of kilometers of slopes for those who like downhill skiing. Also for cross-country skiing, there's a lot of opportunities in the middle of our beautiful forests that surround all the alpine area. For those who love golfing, Friuli Venezia Giulia offers 7 different 18 holes golf courses, and you could be swinging from it, for example, surrounded by the Alps in Tarvisio, or looking at the lagoon in Grado, and why not in the middle of the vineyards in Castello di Spessa, so in the middle of the Collio area. Wines are really important for us, as Matteo mentioned. We are really famous for the white wines, but the red wines are getting more and more importance since they are extremely good, and the climate here allows to produce really good wines. Wines come from vines, and Friuli Venezia Giulia is at the top for production of the vine cuts. The 80% of the production for the Italian vine cuts is made here in San Giorgio d'Arichimvelda, and the 30% of Europe as well, and the 25% of the rest of the world. So you might be drinking a wine produced in the United States that comes out of a vine that was born here in Friuli Venezia Giulia. Talking about food, you received two of our most traditional PDO products, so prosciutto di San Daniele and formaggio Montasio, but we cannot forget to mention another PDO product, which is olio tergeste, which is produced in the karst area, so the area surrounding the city of Trieste. Another product is brovada, which is turnip preserved in marc. Not to forget more than 107 traditional products which are produced in the region and in every single village of the region Friuli Venezia Giulia. Another nice thing to know is that thanks to the extreme freshness and purity of our waters, the waters that come from the rivers, the 40% of the national production of rainbow trout comes from Friuli Venezia Giulia, thanks to the waters of rivers like Fiume Tagliamento, which is one of the last wild rivers in Italy and in Europe maybe. Wild rivers means that it hasn't actually had human intervention along its course. So Friuli Venezia Giulia is basically a region that takes you longer to pronunciate its name than to madly and deeply fall in love with it. So we are basically just waiting for you to discover this region, to enjoy its aromas, its flavors, to get in touch with its people. Because as Matteo said, you come here as a visitor first as a guest, and then when you leave, you're a friend of us. And as you're friends of me now, I would like to greet you in the way that we greet people here in Friuli Venezia Giulia, in Friulano language. Friulano language is the language we speak here, besides Italian, and we have a say that comes straight from the heart, I guess, which is mandi. Mandi means Manus Dei, so the hands of God. So basically, when you greet somebody this way, you're really caring for them and you're really looking forward for them to be good and to get home safe and to come back here. So Mandi, everybody, looking forward to meeting you all here in Friuli Venezia Giulia.
Stay there, don't go away. I'm already in love with you and with your region. I'm a sailor, so you spoke about the Barcolana. I've been there and I really can say that it's something really emotional, something really amazing. But listening to you and Matteo and your love that you have for your territory is something really emotional. Thank you, but we have a question for you. Are you still there?
Yes, sure.
Okay, before I tell you Monday too, meaning that we wait for you here in the States. I have one question from Fabrizio. He's a wine importer, and he says that if you facilitate meetings with Friuli food and wine producers.
Definitely, PromoTurismo FVG is not only in charge of the tourism promotion, but also for the food and wine promotion. Together with a consortium's board that we created during the pandemic last year, we try to facilitate the connections between importers, buyers, and so on. Matteo, for example, is focused on wines, and he will be delighted to help everybody connecting with our local producers. And when it comes to food, of course, we can put you definitely in touch with the local consortiums that will be able to give you all the information about the single producers.
Okay, Lara, thank you so much. I have another question. Don't go. Don't go now.
I'm here, not leaving.
We don't let you go. We have another question from Jennifer. And the question is for Lara and Graziano, but I think you can give a very nice answer as well, which is the difference, and I'm very curious too, because I'm from Modena, which is the difference between prosciutto di San Daniele and prosciutto di Parma. There is kind of a fight between the two prosciutto, right?
As I mentioned, I was born and raised in San Daniele del Friuli, so for me, there's no prosciutto di Parma. No, just kidding. The difference is basically in the taste. They say that prosciutto di San Daniele is sweeter than prosciutto di Parma, which I agree on, but it actually depends on the way it is seasoned, for how long it is aged, for how long it is aged, and the fact that really prosciutto di San Daniele is a totally natural product. As you mentioned before, it's just made out of pork legs that were born and raised in Italy and marine sea salt. So and the fresh air of San Daniele. I mean, the secret of San Daniele is San Daniele itself, the fact of being right in the center, the geographical center of the region. So the winds that come down from the mountains and then come up from the sea just stop there. They don't use air conditioning inside of the aging cellars. They just let the windows open for the air to come in and to age and to dry the prosciutto. So it's something special about it.
Lara, thank you so much. And I really would like to invite every friend that is connected with us today, American friends, to go and visit this amazing region. I feel a little bit ashamed that I don't know the region as much as I would love to, but someday if Lara and Matteo will be my chicharrones, I will be there with you. Okay, Lara?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look forward to welcoming you here.
Thank you, Lara. Thank you, Lara, from PromoTurismo Friuli Venezia Giulia, and thanks from Casa della Contadinanza di Italian Osteria. Now, I would like to know something more from you. If you have other questions, please do it. And we are open for questions before we go ahead and we introduce another guest. Another important guest that is part of this event. Meanwhile, I would like to remind you to take pictures of the dishes that you made at home with the products that you received. Don't forget to share the pictures on the social media, and please publish not a story, but a post, not a story, and put always the hashtag FVG Taste, FVG Live at Air Europa, which is not Air Europe, Europa, and tag, of course, the Italy-American Chamber of Commerce to this. Tomorrow you will receive an email how to be part of the event and to have the chance to win this amazing trip. Okay, I would like to introduce the next guest before we go back to our chef and we're gonna finish this event. Please send your questions. I would like to introduce another partner, ENIT, which is the Italian National Tourist Board that is responsible for the promotion of the tourism in Italy, and that involved also some American tour operators. And we have one representative, Mrs. Marzia Bortolin. Marzia also will talk to us about Friuli Venezia Giulia, maybe from a different point of view. Marzia, are you connected?
Yes, I am. Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here with you. I would like to thank Alessia Mercenario for inviting me, and Christian, of course, and the lovely Lara, who is incredible. Congratulations, Lara. You are really nice, and you really have a passion for what you do. We do have passion for what you do also, because we promote Italy in the American tourist market. And of course, we went through a very difficult moment, as you know, everybody did, but we are recovering. And now American people, American tourists are starting to go back to Italy. They don't have to go through quarantine. They are allowed to take a COVID test-free flight, and taking a test before departing, taking a test at arrival. They are free to wander and enjoy all the beautiful things that Italy has to offer. Of course, Friuli is a wonderful region. I had the honor to visit Friuli a few years ago. I work with the press, so directly with the journalists, and I went to Friuli with a group of journalists who fell in love with Friuli Venezia Giulia. And to tell you the truth, it is a wonderful region, because you find a mixture of culture, a mixture of languages, and a mixture of food, which of course express the culture of the region. And I don't want to tell you how much we ate, because we ate probably 3-4 times a day. it was really a great experience. I remember tasting the Ribolla Gialla, one of the best wines of Friuli for me, of course, for the first time. And I always look for Ribolla Gialla, even now. When we went to Trieste, we were really in love with the atmosphere, not only the beauty of the city. As you know, Trieste is considered the Paris of the Eastern Europe. It's really majestic. This piazza, of course, Piazza della Libertà, which is the main piazza of Trieste that everybody knows, it's huge, immense. I mean, with this fountain in the middle, and most of all, it's the piazza with the cafes. As you know, you probably know that the cafe, Illy Cafe, comes from Trieste. So in Trieste, there is also the culture of cafe. And one of the most popular cafe is Caffè Tomaseo, because it's like a living room. In Caffè Tomaseo, there were several literature representatives. Even James Joyce had spent a lot of time in Trieste, and Italo Svevo. I don't know if you are familiar with the Italian literature. However, you know, it's the culture corner of the northeast Italy, in Trieste. As far as food is concerned, you have a large selection. I just wanted to tell you that for the first time, I tried the Gubana, which is a cake, a particular cake from Friuli. And I was really impressed because it's a small, tiny cake compared to the panettone, but the flavor is unique. Very, very nice. What else can I say to you? Venice is the airport closer to Trieste. So if you come from the United States, of course, with the Delta COVID-free flight, you can arrive in Venezia. From Venezia to Trieste, it's not that far. So you can reach Trieste, the capital, and Friuli Venezia Giulia very easily. I really recommend you to go and visit this region. It's either you go in winter, you can go for skiing. Tarvisio is one very popular place for skiing, or you go in summer. You visit the Castello Miramare because it's a very, very important landmark for Friuli Venezia Giulia, and go to Legnano Sabbiadoro, of course. So it don't matter when you go, winter, summer, fall, Friuli Venezia Giulia is a very hospitable region, and the people are very, very nice. They are friendly, they are warm, and they will open their arms and they make you feel really at home.
Thank you, Marzia. Thank you. Also from you, we can tell that there is a lot of love for Italy, and of course in general, and of course Friuli Venezia Giulia in this occasion. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have some questions. I'm here with Graziano Sbroggiò. The chef left, probably they called him in the kitchen, but I start with a question for Graziano here. So Julie is asking, are those wines popular in the States? Reposco and
yeah, honestly, no. But I want to take the occasion to say that, as I was saying before, that it's our duty to impose our culture, and with the food and with the wine. You see, 30 years ago when I came to the States, there was only 4 wines on the list: Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay, Cabernet, and Chianti. But then the wine has become more available. It is our opportunity now to present this to the American palate, to the American people, especially with the explanation the winemaker before for the Ramandolo. Ramandolo is a wine that I remember from when I was young and drinking it back home. I would love to have Ramandolo available here. They're not popular by inviting myself and colleagues like me to present it to the wine list, because it's time to give a change. This is not only Pinot Grigio and Chardonnay from Italy. We have multiple wine, and one of my favorite wine, particularly for the white, are the wine for Friuli Venezia Giulia.
Graziano, I know there is, I'm not from Friuli, I'm not from Veneto region, but I know that there is a way that you usually say when you get into a bar or to a restaurant, you want to drink something in your territory, you say, dame un'ombra.
Esatto.
Okay, so I want them to learn this word. It's very nice to get into a place, especially when people from Veneto, from Friuli, and say, please, un'ombra. What that means, what is?
Un'ombra is a glass of wine. Give me a glass of wine, which, you know, in the Veneto is dame un'ombra. It was very easy for me to learn Spanish here because the Spanish is very similar to the dialect from Venice with the S at the end. And in Spanish, give me something is dame esto, dame otro. So dame un'ombra, give me a glass of wine.
So we did something also, a little class in dialect from the region. We have another question, but this time is for Matteo. I don't know if Matteo is still connected. Matteo, are you still there?
Of course I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, wonderful.
And
our poet.
I have to say that in Friuli, we used not to say ombra, we used to say tie. Give me a tie.
Tie.
Yes, which means a
tie,
cut.
Because in Veneto we say ombra.
Okay,
you asked me my region from Veneto.
okay,
I'm sorry. I apologize, Matteo.
Now I think I pull up something I shouldn't have done.
Yes.
Okay, so a tie, please.
Yes,
okay.
Please.
Okay, we have a question for you, Matteo. From Stacy. She says, I heard that Prosecco is not only from Veneto region, but also from Friuli as well. Can you tell more about this?
Yes, sure. Prosecco, the DOC of Prosecco is not just a Veneto thing, but is all around the Friuli Venezia Giulia, because the name of Prosecco comes from a small town up to Trieste. So the DOC had this appellation name that brings Friuli Venezia Giulia and Veneto as well. So Prosecco, and of course, the Glera, which is the wine grape with you do the Prosecco, is the second most planted wine grape in Friuli Venezia Giulia. So of course, it's a Veneto thing. It's a Veneto, how can I say, invention and a Veneto important thing that they exporting, but is all over Friuli Venezia Giulia planted, and it's all over Friuli Venezia Giulia important to say. So Glera is planted in Friuli Venezia Giulia and Prosecco comes from Friuli Venezia Giulia.
No, lui ha girato. Okay. We are here again. I was talking with Graziano and Roberto because we have another question, very interesting from Pierre, Susan Pierre. Grazie intanto a Matteo. Matteo, really precious today. Without you, would have been another story. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So the question, the very interesting question from Susan is this. Italy is so fragmented. In each region, there are so many ways of cooking and dishes and recipes, specialties and everything. How come that a chef comes from Italy and you know to do, I mean, you're not from Veneto and you know how to do everything from Veneto region, from everywhere?
Well, basically, I've been working in New York for many years, and I worked with chefs from all over Italy. So from Campania to Lazio to Puglia, Friuli, and Ligurian guys, very great guys, and I picked up a little bit from everything. So this is not my first Friuli event. I've done it before, and I loved it.
Okay, thank you, Susan, and we are basically at the end of it. I don't know if there are, I want to understand if from the board we have some more questions. So I would like to close, reminding you one more time to take pictures of the dishes you made, to publish them on the social media, and please put all the hashtags, very important. So the hashtags are FVG taste, FVG taste, Friuli Venezia Giulia taste, FVG life, at Europa, 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 Air Europa, and of course, TAG, the IACSI, the Italy-American Chamber of Commerce Southeast. So I would like to thank everybody. I would like to thank Salumeria 104 in the person of Graziano Sbroggio and all the people that works here, included, of course, Roberto Patriarca, the chef at Salumeria 104 in Coral Gables. I want to thank the Italian, America Chamber of Commerce Southeast, Tommaso Cardana, all the people that is been working in this project, all the guests that we had today from Friuli. Was really an amazing class. We learned a lot. Also me, I'm Italian, that I learned so many things today. It's so beautiful to understand and to go deep in the traditions of this amazing country that is Italy. Now, if you want to keep enjoying a little bit, don't turn off the computer, stay there, because now we're gonna salute you with a little video clip. So thanks again, and see you for the next masterclass. Thank you.